Mondays after the 11 o'clock news, we take a look at the cost of common goods and services. For this week, we tackle the holiday dinner. Who's hosting this year? Are you hosting? What's your budget to feed the family? We're going to have a grand total of 11 people over. We're hosting on 2 days, actually. We're hosting on Christmas Eve. We're also hosting on Boxing Day, and we've been trying to make the meal plan for December 24th for Christmas Eve and try and figure out what we're going to make and how much it's going to cost. Let me tell you something. Depending on the type of protein that's going to be on the table, it could be very, very pricey. Let's talk about that holiday meal and how much you should be spending on it with Hayley Juhl, executive producer over at the Montreal Gazette, and has tackled this every now and again. Hi, Hayley. Welcome back to the program.
Hi, thanks.
I guess first things first, maybe we should talk turkey. Does it come down to the cost of turkey when we're talking about holiday meals?
100%. You have to start with your turkey.
And
it's good to start early, because when I gathered these numbers nearly a month ago, I was looking at sale prices, and you could get a young turkey for about $30. And that has gone up at least $20 now.
So it's $20 more a couple of weeks later, and now we're back up to $50.
Yeah, but in another couple of days, it might drop again. We might find another sale. It's tough turkey.
It's tough. Now, listen, I guess one way around this is that you don't have to feed just turkey, right? There are other protein options out there. Is another thing here to maybe stop being hung up on having to serve a certain type of meal like a turkey or a ham?
Absolutely. I've tried that in my house for a few years, and I get told that it's not going to happen. So I guess it depends on your family. And I mean, everyone knows the most important part of any Christmas meal is the stuffing. So I guess it depends on how you want to get the stuffing onto your plate.
It's so interesting, right? Because it does matter what the traditions are, right? So in my wife's family, blanquette de veau, okay, the Quebec side of her family, it's a blanquette de veau. That's their meal. You look at the cost of veal nowadays, like it was in the Costco last week. I was like, okay, we're going to have to buy how much meat do we need, honey, for this meal? And boy, does it ever add up. But the price is the price, it seems. Like that's what we're serving. We don't have the luxury of switching it out for maybe a cheaper meat this year. Exactly.
And stores know it, and their prices will reflect our lack of choice.
So we still have 10 days left, right? It's December 15th. We got 10 days to Christmas. So what is your strategy here for lowering the cost of that holiday meal?
Watch for sales, and it might mean going to several different stores. There are several apps that will compare grocery prices for you. So you might have to go to one store for your sweet potatoes, go somewhere else for your cranberries. It might take you 2 or 3 times as long, but to save a few bucks, you might have to spread yourself a little thinner.
What is the thing that's eye-opening price-wise? The thing that you feel has increased in price where you can't even explain it?
It's the turkey and the cranberries. Finding fresh cranberries at a reasonable price seems to be getting harder every year. And turkey prices look to me like they're exploding as well.
I can't believe the cranberries on the list there of the things that are surprising on the price. Is that bad in cranberry land?
Sometimes you can't even find them, which makes it even worse. But yeah, they fluctuate up and down as we get closer to the season.
I have some text messages from listeners here about what they're planning for Christmas and Christmas Eve dinner. A homemade tourtière. Ooh, I like that. A vegetable lasagna. Those are a couple options here. And I have a listener who went to the U.S. Oh, my goodness. Hayley, would you consider a trip to the U.S. to save on that turkey? They say
I would not.
You would not? Well, this listener bought a 28-pound turkey. Maybe you would after I tell you this. A 28-pound turkey for $14 US in Burlington over the weekend. Are you sure you wouldn't head to Burlington for a $14 28-pound turkey?
Man, I'm sure I don't have to wonder why their economy's in the tank.
What else is going to add up? If you're hosting a holiday meal, what are the other costs that you should be thinking about and planning ahead for?
I think a lot of it depends on your dessert, too. You can get or make a pumpkin pie at a pretty reasonable cost, but if you're adding fancier desserts, if you're doing a Hanukkah meal with some donuts, that can start to add up pretty quick too.
And how much should you be spending? Like, what? How do you budget for a meal like this? Do you do it per person? Like, what would be your way to budget a meal for the family? Hayley, are you there?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cut out for a second.
No worries.
I think you might want to go per person. And again, there are some great apps out there that will help you do that. But the closer we get to Christmas, the more you have to wing it too, and just accept what the costs are going to be.
Hayley, tell us about maybe what you've planned for this year, or the greatest meal that you've served over the holidays.
It is going to be incredibly traditional in my house. There's 4 of us, and we will be having turkey and sweet potatoes, a lot of stuffing, cranberry sauce, and gravy. And the best part is making a leftover pie in the next days. We just layer all those leftover ingredients in a pie filling and stick it in the oven and eat it for days.
Hayley, you've brought something up very, very, very interesting here, because sometimes we look at the cost of the initial meal and say, my goodness, that's expensive. And then we don't figure out, or we don't recognize the fact that we're going to get a meal out of it the next day for lunch, maybe the following day's dinner, then another meal out of that. We're talking about a lot of meals out of whatever you spend for the evening, aren't we?
Yeah, hopefully, if you have the initial funds to be able to buy, say, a turkey that's big enough, and make everything else yourself, it can last you till you're really sick of it.
How? Here's a good question. How long can you be serving the turkey? How many meals can that turkey spread out over? How many days later would you serve that turkey for?
It really depends on your family, but in my experience, it'll last up to 4 days.
Up to 4 days. Yeah, I think that's a good number. I have a listener writing in that about the cost of a roast beef, how that's gone crazy, right? So I think if you're buying a turkey, you're lucky probably, compared to those whose tradition surrounds beef, like roast beef or something else that's more pricey this time of year.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Hayley, thanks so much for coming on this morning. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hayley Juhl, executive producer over at the Montreal Gazette.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.